Leafs prospects have a huge opportunity in front of them, as well as Jacob Markstrom is out with injury. But what does this mean for Calgary's young goaltending prospects? We'll break all this down for you coming up on this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we get into that, just want to say that 84.6% of you guys aren't subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button, become a part of the community here, because we'll be here all season long, giving you daily NHL content. But with that said, let's get right into the first topic of the video today, and that is Leafs prospects headed to the World Junior Championship. And as we see a tweet here from Carl Cushman, he says prospects Easton, Cowen, and Fraser Minten are named to Canada's preliminary roster for the World Juniors. And the first person we're going to talk about here is Easton Cowen, who is having a crazy year with the London Knights so far this season. In 21 games, he has 10 goals, 34 points, and is +9. And Mark, we have talked about this guy here previously on the channel, and he's just lighting it up this year, making a strong case for him to maybe crack this roster next year. And now he's going into the World Junior Championship, where there's going to be a lot of eyes on this, and it's just going to be great to see what he can do there.
Yeah, that's the big thing. When he was drafted, I know I keep going back to it. Everyone was kind of like, this is a high pick. We didn't know about this guy, but he's looking like an absolute steal in a first round pick, as much as that could be a steal. But overall, he's looked outstanding. This is a guy that came into Leafs training camp, put up a fight to stay on this roster, made it to pretty much the end, went down to the London Knights, and continued this dominance in the OHL. So it's nice to see that he's continuing this development. And I think within the next year or two, we're definitely going to see Cowen in the NHL. And I could see him being a middle six guy. So getting into the World Juniors is just going to be another confidence boost, another thing to add to his resume at such a young age. And I think the sky's the limits for this guy. And it's quite exciting just to think about the future and what's to come with this.
Yeah, definitely I'd agree with you. And like I said, with a whole lot of eyes on this, it's going to really be nice to see him showcase his talent and really get his name out there in the hockey world. Because I know Leafs fans and whoever's watching our channel knows a lot about this guy, but it's nice for other fan bases to get to watch this guy and see him play, because he's a phenomenal player, and I really do think he has a strong chance to make this Toronto Maple Leafs roster. And if he has a strong showing here at the World Junior Championship, I mean, that could almost cement him through next season with the Leafs. It'd be really interesting to see. Like you said, playing a middle six role would be great from him next year. But we'll have to see what happens, what the season entails, and the World Hockey Championship, or the World Junior Championship, sorry, is going to be really fun to watch over this holiday season. But there is one more Leaf prospect who's going to be in there, and Leaf fans know him very well, and that is Fraser Minten. He did play 4 games with the Toronto Maple Leafs earlier on in this season at the beginning of the year, but he got sent back to the WHL, where so far in 4 games he has 3 points, 10 penalty minutes. And Mark, obviously we know a lot about this guy. We talked about him a lot here on the channel. It's just great to see him get this opportunity to play for his home country.
I think it's going to be awesome seeing both these guys. It would be even cooler if we've seen a line combined of Cowen and Minten. But I think the big thing here with Minten is it's almost the same situation of Cowen, where he got into Leafs training camp. He looked great in preseason. He looked good in tournaments. He got to actually get the taste of the NHL with those 4 games, and he's gone back to the WHL and looking outstanding there. So he's the guy that I think is almost certain to make the team next year. I know right now Max Domi is the third line center, but I could see the situation of one of Bertuzzi or Domi being signed next year. I can't see both guys being signed. So if Domi is signed, I could see him maybe sliding to the wing, or Minten going to the wing. But I think I'm almost confident to say at this point, with the development of Minten, him making the World Juniors, and just how he's showcasing himself, I think he's almost set to be the third line center for the Toronto Maple Leafs next year. So it's just an exciting future for this kid as well.
Yeah, and like we talked about here on the channel before, we know how much Sheldon Keefe loves this guy. Really excited to see what he can do here in this World Junior Championship. I'm sure he's going to show out, him and Cowen. Can't wait to see what these guys bring to the table, because I agree with you. I really do think that this guy's going to be on the opening right roster again next year, and I think we'll see him throughout the whole season. It's going to be fun to watch. So if you're a Leafs fan, make sure to tune into this. Make sure to watch these guys, get a feel for their game, because they're going to be Leafs very soon, and they're still really young, and they really have a great opportunity here to showcase their talent and get their name out there. And I'm really excited to watch the World Junior Championship. I'll be locked into it. I'm sure Mark will be locked into it too. One of my favorite things to watch throughout the year. But we're going to get into our second topic here, and that is Markstrom is injured. And as we take a look from the Calgary Flames today. Jacob Markstrom is week to week with a fractured finger, no surgery required, and they did recall Dustin Wolf from the Calgary Wranglers. And Mark, obviously, the Calgary Flames story just keeps getting worse and worse throughout this season. We've seen trades happen. We've seen now their star goaltender go down with an injury week to week. It's great that he's not going to require surgery because that would be make him be out long term. But I mean, hopefully he can come back soon. But right now in Calgary, it just really sucks to see what's happening there.
Yeah, the big thing is with the defense kind of thinning out, we've seen Sidorov get moved. I know Killington is looking like he will be back sometime in the near future. But then you have a guy like Tanev, Hannafin. These guys are almost on the way out, either a trade or a free agency. So seeing the goaltender go down and the defense kind of thin out, it's going to get a little rougher in Calgary. I know they've been on a bit of a run. They've looked a little good, but the problem with this is with everything happening, like I said, Zadorov being gone, Tanev might be gone within the next couple of weeks, and then a guy like Hannafin as well. It's going to get harder to keep the pucks out of the net. So having Markstrom out long term might be a huge problem for the Calgary Flames, especially a team that's looking like they want to continue to push for a playoff hunt.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, they've been on a little roll here. It was nice to see him playing good again, and now their star goaltender goes down with an injury. But they do have some guys there, which is what we're going to talk about here now, and that is there's a huge opportunity for Vladar and Wolf, and these guys have shown to be good goaltenders here in the NHL. As we see Dustin Wolf here, just like we said, recalled from the Calgary Wranglers. He did play one game this season. He lost it and put up an 8.95. But so far this season with the Wranglers, in 13 games, he has 10 wins, 3 losses with a 920 save percentage. I'm really high on this guy, Mark. I really like the way he plays. I really do think that he's going to step up here in Markstrom's absence and kind of cement himself in the NHL.
The big thing with Wolf is we've seen it in the AHL, he dominated, in juniors, he's dominated, and he hasn't been able to get a long run in the NHL yet. So the silver lining of Markstrom going down, which no one wants to say an injury is a good thing, but when you do look at this is going to give Wolf the opportunity to get into games, maybe get an extended look. He might get a couple of back-to-backs, and he might be able to take over the starting job until Markstrom returns. So it's really nice to get this experience for Wolf, get him in, like I said, get him into these games and just get him a lot of reps. Like I said, we've seen him dominate at every level except for the NHL. So I think this is his time to shine and kind of show management that Markstrom's not needed and he's the guy of the future.
Yeah, and it's going to be like a similar thing to what we've seen earlier in Toronto with Justin Woll coming up, dominating the AHL last season, and now he's playing phenomenal here in the NHL. I really do think this is a similar situation. They have kind of the same type of numbers in the AHL, so I really do think that this guy has a strong future here in the NHL, and I can't wait to see what he can do. But there is another guy who's been backing up Markstrom all season long, and that has been Dan Vladar. And so far this season, he's 4-2-1 with an 8.83. And last season in 27 games, he did put up an 8.95. I mean, one of the best nicknames in the NHL, in my opinion, in Darth Vladar. But I really do like the way this guy plays as well. I do really think they have some great goaltenders here in the system. And I really hope that both of these guys are going to showcase their ability. Really do think that, these guys will probably be playing, one game, one on, one off. I think they're going to try to test these guys out, see who gets hot and just ride the hot hand while Markstrom's gone.
I think the big thing with this is you almost ride the hot hand, like you said. You can put Wolf in if he dominates. We've seen it with Joseph Woll in Toronto. He dominated. He got a long stretch of games. I could see happening with Wolf as well. And I think another big thing with this injury is you can use this to kind of showcase Vladar. So if he goes on 3 or 4 wins, he gets a shutout in a couple of games, and his save percentage starts to shoot up. If Calgary is selling, this is a perfect time to kind of dangle him to teams, be like, hey, look at this guy. He can come in almost a Jake Allen role, take over a couple of games, be a perfect 1B for a championship or a contending team. So I think it's perfect where you get experience with Wolf and you're able to just do this with Vladar, dangle him around, get his trade value up, and maybe ship him off before deadline.
Yeah, it's kind of the same situation we're seeing in Montreal when they're kind of putting Montembeault and Primo in, rotating them back and forth. So I'm pretty sure this is what we're going to see here in Calgary. But my heart goes out to you, Calgary Flames fans, because right now, I mean, it just keeps getting worse and worse for you guys. But I think you have a bright future ahead. Really hope that these guys can start to get a few wins together and get back in that playoff race, because we want to see as many Canadian teams in the playoffs as we can. But we're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here, and that is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to Matthew. He says, still disappointed the Leafs didn't get him. And of course, he's talking about Nikita Zadorov, Mark, and I know this is a guy that you really wanted to see on the Leafs, but ultimately couldn't happen.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I wish we got him. If you see in the background, you can't really see, but I do have a Canucks jersey. I like the Canucks as well. But if any Calgary Flames fans are still here, plug your ears. I think Tanev's coming to Toronto. I think this is going to be a perfect fit. Put him into the top four, or in the top pairing, honestly. And I think things will work out. Sidorov not being on the Leafs does kind of suck, but I think there's bigger fish that we can almost pursue.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. I really do think that we'll see some trades coming up over the next week or maybe next couple of weeks. We'll keep you guys locked into what's happening around the NHL. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 3,000 subscribers before Christmas, so give us an early Christmas gift. Go down below, hit that subscribe button, and while you're down there, leave a comment. What do you think about this Markstrom injury? What do you think about these guys that are going to come in and replace him? What do you think about the Leafs prospects headed to the World Junior Championship? Let us know down below. Also, give us your early predictions on who you think's going to win the World Juniors, because obviously we're going with Canada, but the US team looks scary right now. Can't wait to see what happens here. But if you enjoy the NHL, make sure to check out this video. It's popping up on your screen right now. But I've been your host, KC, alongside my co-host, Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.